Welcome to Success in Motion. Join us as we dive deep with top leaders, entrepreneurs, and professionals, uncovering strategies to grow, scale, and succeed.
All right, welcome to the podcast today. Today we have a special guest. His name is Carlos Zuniga, and he works in finance, and he's going to share a little bit about what success means to him and what he's been working on. So, Carlos, it's great to have you on the show. We appreciate you talking with us today. Please just go ahead and give us a quick snapshot of what you're working on. Tell us what you do. Just get us caught up.
Okay. So currently I've been working on, I work at a company, CHG Healthcare. And I've been mainly focusing on how I can help the division find savings across the board and things like how I can help them optimize the money that we have to spend on the employees. And that's what I've been working on recently. So was the question also about success? Like how, sorry, I think I missed the question.
That's where we'll go from here. So give us just a little bit of an idea. What does success mean to you? That can be personal life in your work, finance.
That's a very interesting question because like you think about that word and like what is success? Like you never think like you attain it. Like you're always thinking like, oh, in 5 years, once I finish this, I will attain success. I think there's always that, I guess, factor or that thought of like, there's a goal in mind and you're thinking that once I get there, I will attain success. I personally don't think like there's success found in just one specific thing. I think success is more found like on how you measure happiness. So for myself, like there's a lot of things have happened through my whole life. Like, yes, my life, for me, it took me about 8 years to graduate with my bachelor's degree in finance. I did it through part-time. I would not say that getting the bachelor's degree would be the ultimate success, but I would say each milestone getting to that point to me was successful. Getting a job that helped me, that I was able to get after I got my degree, that was success. So I think like the little accumulation of little milestones that I've had throughout my life have defined for me success, not so much of like just one specific thing. And that's kind of how I've been seeing my life personally.
Awesome. So more kind of the journey of, yes, we're working towards a goal, but each milestone, that's where you find the success.
Correct. Yes.
That's awesome. So as you've been working in, and again, with your company, what have you been working on? What kinds of things are you trying to optimize or do to allow you guys to spend more money on your employees and help them be happier?
When we're trying to look at benefits for across the board, we're always trying to find the best interest in employees. We look at utilization. That's one big one. For example, we may have about 20 benefits that we offer to employees. Recently, for example, we used to provide a benefit for transportation for employees who go to the office. We recognized that only 1 or 2 employees was using that benefit. The benefit essentially gave you a certain amount of money each year, so you could spend it on a train station or a bus fare, whatever that may be. The utilization was very low, so we took that and we had to take away that benefit, but instead we actually took that and we put it towards, like I mentioned to you, the other benefit that we use for employees is lifestyle spending, where employees can use the benefit for anything that happens in their life, like camping, any vacational things. I'll just put it that way. One of those vacational categories could be a bus ride or a taxi or train station fares, whatever that may be. So we increased that by a little bit more to kind of like compensate for that loss of other benefits, because we saw in the end that yes, we're not using that benefit as much, it's costing us more money, but instead we can just optimize here on this place where more employees are actually invested in actually getting more money there instead. So yeah,
that's awesome. And so as you've been really kind of optimizing. I really like how you're taking away the things that people aren't using and putting it in more benefits that people actually are utilizing.
Yeah.
I think that's a great strategy. So as you've been kind of doing this work, what have you found to be a little bit challenging, or what struggles have you guys kind of been going through?
Struggles. I mean, across the board, I mean, the one struggle we've been having is health insurance. I mean, I think that's a macro issue, I mean, not just in the company, but that's just in general in the US. Yes. Yeah. Like, I'll give you one example. For example, like when I'm looking at demographics as to why medical claims are going up higher than compared to last year, we look at also pharmacy claims. That seems to be a big one. One example would be for anti-diabetic medication. One anti-diabetic medication went from, grew by 400% because we just have more people who are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So those are things you can't really plan to have or predict. You can prevent it by providing, this is what the company's trying to do, providing more wellness benefits, more initiatives that can help the employees to enroll on those things. So if they want to be we have provide free yoga classes or free things that can help them, be more attentive to their care needs, do their wellness checks every single year, things like that can prevent those big claims. But yeah, I would say medical claims has been a big struggle. I'm trying to trying to bring it to a place where okay, we're spending at a good place, not like it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. There's, people submitting claims every single month. That's just something you need to prevent, and it's really hard right now. So,
but again, it's kind of a crazy system right now. So figuring it out, that's awesome. The things that you guys are doing to really try to optimize it.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's say there was someone who's listening who wants to get better at kind of optimizing just the benefits they're giving, what they're doing for their employees. What suggestions would you have for them?
Like to get the best out of their own benefits that their employers providing for them?
Or more for the employers trying to do what you're doing, trying to figure out how can we get best benefits for our employees.
That's a good question. I think it all boils down to culture. I think how the company sees employees. I think that's what it all comes down to. I worked at different, I'd say in finance, I've worked at about 3 companies before CHG Healthcare. And what I've seen the differences and stuff is more of those companies that I worked before. You can see the culture sometimes is not so focused. There was a lack of employee surveys, that's what I would say. Compared to here, where I work out, there was more employee surveys than you would see on a month, maybe not to the monthly basis, but on a quarterly basis, you'd see satisfaction. And one of the drivers was benefits. Sometimes people would specifically mention, hey, this benefit is not helping me. It's, they would list their reasons. And I think some companies struggle is that if they do surveys, they don't follow up. I think that's the struggle that most companies have, is the follow up. Maybe it's because of lack of human power. You don't have as many employees to kind of back that up or follow up. Maybe it's because it's not their priority. I mean, I think that's what it all boils down to, the follow up and see what you can do as a company better for your employees.
I know, when I was working as an employee, when an employer actually heard what I said and followed up on it and followed through, I was like, wow, I'm going to do a lot more because they're providing value for me. So that's a great way of looking at it. I like it. So it sounds like a lot of things are going really well for what you're working on in the finance world. And switching conversation just a little bit, I know a lot of our guests are looking towards the future, right? We're always, like you said, looking at what's the kind of the end goal. And a lot of people are talking about the passive income to kind of enhance or even replace their active income. What are your thoughts about, again, this passive income and creating that for the future?
When I think of passive income, I think of, I can think what most people think of as like, oh, I'm thinking of this great idea where like I'm going to make millions of dollars and within a month or two. I see that all over the internet, all over media, like thinking that, oh, I'm going to make, I think maybe people I've heard on TikTok or Instagram are like, hey guys, I only work 3 hours a month and I make $2,000 just doing nothing or doing, it's like, so people get excited. Oh my gosh, I can do this. Um, that's what people think when they think of passive income. I think passive income is, any type of work that you do will require a lot of time. It could require a lot of time at first, maybe later on, but it will require time, not just 2 or 3 hours. With passive income, I think it depends on how you're willing to make that investment, whether it could be real estate, it could be stocks, it could be anything like that. Because I don't think people think of like 401k as a passive income. I think it is, because in the long run, you're actually making money, slowly. And then when you're 60 or 65 years old, you're able to pull that money out and you're able to use it. So I think anything that you're able to make smart decisions and make smart investments in the future that can provide a good return on your investment, whether that's 10%, 15%, I think that's considered passive income.
I like that. I like how it's more about making the smart decisions, making the right decisions, rather than just jumping on the fads that are out there of, oh, you can do this. Like being smart about what you're doing and being a little more methodical about it.
Yeah, correct.
So what kinds of things are you working for to achieve success in your life over the next 6 to 12 months? And this can be personal, this can be wherever you want to take it.
I'll give you an example. I'm currently enrolled in my MBA program at the University of Utah. Funny enough, we're in the same program with Milton Monson. So one of the things my wife and I decided on. So we both work. Just a little background. We both work full time, and we don't have any kids. I know that's a different situation from other people who have kids, but I think it can be done too as well. You just have to put the work into it. It's a lot extra work, but you have to put the work into it. Currently, this moment, like, yes, I had to get student loans for my program. It was about $70,000 for the full program, 2 years. We're currently only living just with one income, just my income. So my wife's income goes just straight each month to my student loans. Even though I'm not supposed to pay them right now, I can wait 2 years and then I can start paying them. But I'm making currently payments towards that. So her full salary, each paycheck that she gets, boom, goes to that. So that's something we're working on together to minimize the interest. And I think that's what some people, especially for student loans, like we think of student loans as like, oh, I don't have to pay that right now or in the next 2 years. I'm good. I can keep that money that I make each month to myself and I don't need to worry about it. But and then they're like, I'm going to worry about it later. And that's the mentality I think some Americans have. So for me, it's been like, you need to think of your own life as your own business. That's how I see it. Like, think of it like, how do you strategize to be in the future? Like 6 to 12 months. How do you plan your cash flow to be in the next 12 months or the next 24 months? I think just sitting down with your spouse or just by yourself and say like, okay, I see my money to be this. How can I actually make it grow? Or what can I do to strategize and be more proactive with my income? I think a lot of people lack that sometimes. They just feel like they just live paycheck to paycheck because that's easier, right? But I think sitting down and kind of methodically, like you said, think about like, what can I do to maximize or maybe make better decisions financially in the future?
Absolutely. Again, that intentionality, it really helps you plan for what's coming up.
Yeah.
I like that you're working on, your student loans now, even though you don't need to, because that you're just looking towards the future. You're looking at what's coming up and you're able to do it much better. Perfect. All right, Carlos. So thanks so much for your time today and sharing your tips and tricks and your thoughts with us.
Mm-hmm.
If people would like to connect with you, what would be the best way to get a hold of you?
I mean, I can provide you my email address, that'll be the best way. And if they have any questions, we're happy to help them whatever way I can. I don't know. I'm not a certified financial advisor. It's just more like my own personal life choices that I've made and kind of what school has helped me. Also, work has taught me these principles, and I just apply them. So.
Perfect. I like it. And go ahead and say the email for anyone listening. They can write it down, and I think we'll try to drop it down below.
Okay. Yeah, it's my it's my name, Carlos, Carlos .Zuniga, last name, Zuniga, and then number 37 at yahoo.com.
Perfect. All right, Carlos, thanks so much. And we appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for tuning into Success in Motion. Want to share your story? Visit successinmotionpodcast.com/guest to apply and be featured on the show.